minute, making sure she gets over this, like she did the babe she lost. Don't want you pushing your nib in, checking up one dark night and frightening everyone to death. You just rest. You've done your bit." Her voice faltered on the last word, but she swallowed and braced her shoulders. She replaced the barrel lid before walking to the gate and lifting the sneck to head for the Bedleys' house. There she'd pick up the girls and Davey Bedley, her beloved lad. She strode along the back lane, quiet now, except for the workings of old Hilda, the Massingham pit. The winding gear that was bringing up the coal and taking down the pitmen in the cages. The banging and crashing of the surface screens where the pitmen separated the coal from the slate and dust. The whistle of the train heading for the main line. She breathed in the smell of sulphur and coal. It was the air of her hometown, and she watched the wind whipping at the slag heap where the coal dust and refuse was dumped. Aye, it was all the same, but not the same. She looked back at the pit head and whispered, "You keep my brother Stan safe when he's back on shift tomorrow, old Hilda, because you didn't do too good a job with our da. Aye, better ratchet up your game." She stopped, because at least her da hadn't died of black lung, which had been his and Tom's fear. She said now, but quietly, "Ah, well, maybe you did us a favour after all, Hilda. Da's cough was getting worse, so I'll let you off this once. But don't you dare take any more of me family, you hear me?" Fran hurried on, thinking that if anyone heard her, they'd think she'd gone mad. It was 9 a.m, and the four-shift had clip-clopped in their boots along the back lane long before it was light, their murmuring drowned by the hooter. Would Bell Seam, which her da and Tom had been surveying when the wall and roof caved in, be reopened? It had only been half worked out, and would be good for many more tons once they shoved up more props. So, probably, after all, wars needed coal. What would the investigation reveal? Who knew? Probably nothing, for the heap of coal would have destroyed much of the reason behind the fall. She turned up her mat collar and hurried into Main Street. Ahead was the shelter, where she, Sarah and Beth would normally have queued at 4 a.m. for the bus to the munitions factory. Beth should really have gone into work today, for her da had died of black lung a few weeks before, but Miss Ellington, the senior security officer on their sector, had given her a dispensation. "Of course she did," Fran muttered to herself. "We three come as a package." In her shoulder bag, she had Spam sandwiches left over from yesterday's funeral tea. The corners were curling, but they'd been outside in the meat safe where the bitter cold of December would keep the Spam fresh enough. She turned right into Sarah's back lane, her boots clopping on the cobbles. Ben, their 12-year-old brother, would meet them by the turning that led out of Massingham towards the beck. He was with George, his marrow, right this minute, trying to crack a crossword that Davey had set to keep the lad's mind away from sadness and to keep things as normal as possible. There it was again, that word. It was normal that her mam was a widow now. It was normal that her da was safe out of the pit. She looked up at the clouds, grinned and shouted, "You lot better behave and not go throwing down any more snow just out of devilment." She stopped because Davey, her Davey, had swung out of his back gate and was hurrying towards her, his cap set to the left. But then something in his face changed. He slowed, and when he reached her, hesitated. He gripped her hands, when normally he would have held her close. She stared at him, but he looked away. She started to say, "Davey, why?" but stopped, for he was grieving too. It had to be no more or less than that. "Bonny, bonny lass," he muttered. "God, I wish I'd never left for me war work, never seen a bloody code, never been put forward for Bletchley. Oh, damn, I forgot I even breathed that, for no one should know. But you do, of course you do."